Hi, welcome back. So, the other day I made a video speaking about the US admitting to funding biolabs around the world via Tulsi Gabbard and her press release. And that got me thinking. Now, humour me for just a little minute and we'll take a wee step back in time. So the year's 1918, war sweeps almost every country in the world and what's dubbed World War One is now well underway. And just when war occupies the mind, opportunity strikes, and under a code of mystery, not only is war sweeping the world, but highly contagious, infectious influenza that's today known as the Spanish flu. It's estimated that the Spanish flu killed 50 to 100 million people. People panicked, people died. The symptoms of this deadly virus were either you had none, or flu-like respiratory problems, fever, headaches, rapid onset pneumonia. A really bad flu was sweeping the world. But don't panic, because in 1918 there were a group of people who set out to find answers and save the world. Who was that group? The Rockefeller Institute. You may have heard of them before. They're the same people that revolutionised the medical industry as we know it. Around about then too. They're the same people who imagined that every boy and girl in the land could have a good education and invented the school system. Just slightly before that, and I don't think they'd happen to have thought of the other genders so far, so this story is just about boys and girls. Apologies. And they're also the same people who stepped in and saved the population from reckless criminals in making a prison system where bad people go to get rehabilitated into society. The world is in good hands. Or was it? You see, the medical system we have is fucked and it relies on repeat prescriptions, not cures. The school system is a factory tutorial where you stay in one place for a long time, you adhere to the bell, and anybody who can't do that must have ADHD and are medicated to the absolute bollocks. The prison system, it's a gang mentality. You don't go in there and get a chance of any change. Sure, you can go in and get a degree and stuff like that there, but your mentality doesn't change, your attitude doesn't change, and there's a good chance you're probably going to come out with a degree and an affiliation. Oh, and by the way, just to be step back, 50 to 100 million people is a crazy discrepancy in numbers. Remember when I was saying they hide deaths behind war? So they'll have a simultaneous virus and a war. That's what they do. Now, fast forward to 2020, and there's small wars happening all over the world. The heat is on, and out of nowhere, world closes down. Virus strikes, and the world media set about setting the tone. Now, if you remember, on the internet, the news, the fed is Chinese people collapsing, dead. We were showing people fall over, stiff. There was apparently no reason or struggle, just down. We were showing mass body bag footage where they said that they were in such a panic they couldn't bury people fast enough. Now, same wars, same symptoms, exactly, and same story, just 100 years apart. So, fun fact, Spain didn't actually have anything to do with the roots of the disease or the suspected roots. They were just a neutral nation in the war at the time, and they happened to report on it. Simple as that. The origins has never been fully known. But the reason I'm actually doing the video is because when you see the conspiracy theories that were going about at the time, it just becomes a little bit more interesting. So, one of the countries that were rumoured to have been the reason for the Spanish war or Spanish flu was France. But for one thing I know about France and their general feelings at war is if you give them fuckers a white lab coat, they're going to find a pole and wave it around the room. So I don't think it's them. I'm only joking. I'm dismissing France because of who the other two countries are. China and America. Now, given what we know from 2020 onwards, I think it's very ironic that those are the two countries involved. We also know America around that time were quite happy to poison their own people. They were taking part in Prohibition. That was started in 1920, which is 2 years after that, and it's, during the exact time. They've also went on to do that several times with the Tuskegee trials and even down to drugging people in the MK Ultra. So it's very much their MO at the time. So as I can imagine, you go back in time, you get China and America blaming each other for the release of a virus, which is almost going to cause a world war. It's the exact same story 100 years ago. And now it comes out that they've been secretly funding biolabs. And let me be clear, when I say secretly funding, I don't mean secretly hiding it from the taxpayer, etc. I mean black spots where only those that know are going to know about it. And that's at the very top of the pyramid. So Either the Trump administration knew this information about biolabs since their first time in office and are only telling people now, which leads me to ask why, or there's a body above the government where individual presidents don't actually get to know the in-the-loop stuff, which is probably far more scarier than a lot of people understand. See, if you ever had a government or a president that decided they wanted to help the people, then information wouldn't be readily available to each president. And two, because of the terms and the term limit, you could probably set out each president when you're in control of the court system because of the sheer lightning speed it moves at and the snail pace it's capable of moving at, depending on whether or not that somebody is a somebody. So I lost faith in any politician a long time ago. Trump's the same. I lost faith in him ever being for the people when I seen his Epstein comments, and all that was before he got on his knees and he smiled like the world's most grateful donut for Big Daddy Bibi. The links are all there. The question is, how long have they been doing this? Do you think there's any possible links between COOF, Spanish flu, given it's the same governments involved? And do you think the biolabs are linked to more bioweapons or previous mystery illnesses released on the people throughout time? Or do you just think Spain got a bad rap and taking the blame for the 1918 inoculation experiment? I almost forgot to say, most of the estimated 50 to 100 million deaths were after the good people at the Rockefeller Institution saved the day with a life-saving vaccine delivered around the world at a pace we'd never ever seen before. Thank you. So, thank you for the Rockefeller Institute on that one. So, like, comment, subscribe, share the video, and I'll see you next time. Thanks. Bye-bye.